Good evening. What's up, guys? It is SEC After Dark, y'all's conference network. Also, you can hear the audio portion of this on the Bleav Podcast Network on my channel. I put this on Beast of the East feed, so you'll hear Beast of the East and SEC After Dark on that channel. Also, did I mention y'all's conference network? Joining me is Stephen Willis and Jake Thomas.
Hi.
Not joining us is Jeb Beechum. He is under the weather, so hopefully in a few days he'll be back over the weather. So we're excited, man. We got a great slate of things to talk about. We're going to get into some college hoops later on. Those NFL playoffs are just too good not to talk about. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and of course the Portal Mania. Congrats, Jake. We're brought to you by betonline.ag. It is the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your take care of all your betting needs. We wish you a happy betting new year. Yeah, how about that? It remains the number one spot for all sports wagering for 2022. It's a new year, new updated desktop, mobile website. Sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav to get started. That's BLEAV. So, from football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. I got going a little too fast. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest, easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline is where the games start. We'll talk about what we're going to bet on possibly this weekend when we talk NFL, which we're going to be NFL After Dark for a segment. So, but welcome in, guys. Cheers. How's it going?
Yes, Joe Burrow is our only hope to take care of Jackson Mahomes.
Oh,
yes. Come on, Joe.
Yeah.
Do it one time for us, man. Yeah. Joe Burrow. We cheers.
I got a question for you, since we might as well just go off the rails early tonight.
Let's do it.
Yes. The chat is live, so we can go off the rails. Our assistant producers can keep us.
A more universally hated person. More universally hated person, Will Wade or Jackson Mahomes?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. I would say Will Wade would have been the answer like 2 years ago, unanimously. But I think Jackson Mahomes is, I'm gonna go with Jackson Mahomes. That kid he's not only he's not only entitled, but he's a prick to make up for it.
I sent a video of after one of the Chiefs games, Patrick went over and he was telling, went to his girlfriend, said, I love you, went to somebody else, said, I love you. Then he got to Jackson and said, hey, and that was, and then ran off the field. So they was giving him, they was like, well, we know who Patrick loves and who he don't.
Yeah. So you just watch apparently Jackson Mahomes has an entourage of like 30 people. And there's this tiny restaurant in Kansas City, and they tried to go out and go to that club or whatever, and it was just tiny, and they were like, no, we can't do that. We're not big enough. We can't handle it. Jackson Mahomes went and tried to social media cancel that restaurant, all because he couldn't get a table because he had a 30-person entourage.
The restaurant clapped back, which was the best.
Yeah.
Like restaurants don't usually clap back. They usually just eat it, but. No, the restaurant's like, nah, not today. No. And his wife is annoying too, apparently.
Girlfriend. They're apparently not married.
Okay.
I think they have a kid together, but they're not married.
I was going to say, I think they had a baby together.
The tie that binds. Gross. Yeah, Will Wade sucks too. But
Stacey said he despises both.
Yeah. That's a hell of a start to the show, by the way.
It is. Absolutely.
Well,
it's SEC After Dark, and we have Joe Burrow, so it's relevant.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, that is relevant. We have a bunch of Georgia guys on the Rams, and we have Cole Hardman, and I'm sure there's just as many Bama guys in this game too. So in these games, so we can relate it. Definitely relate it.
Mike Hilton plays for the Bengals.
There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go.
And that dude's balling.
How many other old Mississippi guys?
DJ Jones plays for the 49ers. I'm not sure about the Rams.
South Carolina has Debo Samuel, so we got that.
And let's see, the Bengals, Hilton. And I don't know if there's anything in Kansas City, but they would have had some if the other teams had won. If Buffalo had gotten there, they had one or two players from Buffalo's team. They have Dawson Knox.
Then, of course, the Titans. If they would have won, they would have had A.J. Brown.
Since we've gone off the rails real quick, we need to talk about that overtime rule in the NFL. It needs to be changed. I mean, Buffalo should have had another shot.
They should have. So Jake, you said it needs to be changed. We'll go ahead and talk NFL playoffs now. Let's bump Portal Mania.
Yeah, let's just bump it. Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats, you got Jermaine Burton. We'll talk about that later. So what do you think needs to happen though?
I mean,
what's your proposal?
Give both teams a shot. I mean, if one goes down and scores a touchdown, at least give the other team a shot to go down and score a touchdown. If they don't, then they, then so be it. But at least they get a chance. Not getting a chance is the key because I mean, it just didn't seem fair. I mean, Buffalo had all the momentum up until, of course, 12 seconds left to go in that game, but still, they lost, in overtime because of that stupid overtime rule.
And I don't get the sudden death thing. It doesn't work in a sport that's not continuous. Like football is not continuous. Like basketball, I mean, you could theoretically you could do a sudden death, like golden goal type, golden basket type deal. Like obviously soccer does it, but it just doesn't it doesn't work, man, because it's not fair.
You know what they should do? They should just pay the 10-minute overtime quarter. The full thing, just like in soccer, you have extra time. It's 10 minutes. At the end of this, the score is what it is.
Either that, or at the end of it, now the college rule kicks in where you spot the ball at the 5 and you just take shots in the end zone.
Either that, or I'd be a fan of alternating possessions at the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Just fit a little bit longer than the college game. The kickers are more pronounced. Yeah,
I was going to say they're professionals. I'd started at midfield.
Yeah,
let's just
I'm fine with that, even in a college game.
Yeah,
if both teams in the college game start the 25 and they both score, push them back to the 50, and then if they both score again, go 75. I mean, I hate lining up a 2-yard line and getting a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, they just destroyed the college overtime by the alternating 2-point conversions. I can't stand that. And
I can't either.
But I like your idea, the 25, and then back them up to the 50, and then back them up to their own 25.
I never thought about that. That's a really good idea. I like the idea of let's play a 10-minute quarter. If it's still tied, put the ball at the 10, then the 25, and you just alternate possessions.
Yeah,
you get 4 downs. From the 10 to score. Then from the 25, it just goes regular, obviously. So, from the 10, you get 4 downs. Treat it like a goal-to-go situation.
Yeah.
And then from the 25, you treat it like a normal possession, so on and so forth.
And don't kick a field goal if you're at the 10-yard line. You got to go for it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You got 4 chances in 10 yards to get it. Come on, guys. You're professionals.
Yes,
hey, John.
Hey, John. What's up, buddy? And Stacey. Welcome, Stacey.
My partner in crime over at Beast of the East and Tide Talks Podcast.
Yeah, y'all are great on Beast of the East, man. I love it.
You mean best of the West?
Best of the West, yeah.
Yeah, it might look a little bit different to everybody, but we're kind of changing up our shows. I'm a little bit busy at the time being, so since we're able to share it, we have the ability to do it to where it can still appear on this channel, which is actually pretty cool. So
absolutely.
Their ability to restream on Beast of the East and Best of the West is absolutely invaluable right now while I go through Jackson Dart
There you go.
Living and breathing Jackson Dart. By the way, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I started this, the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Essentially, let's say in the first week of January is when we really kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting, about 100 views per video going. Thanks to Jackson Dart, I am some videos are hitting in the thousands. And the same thing's happening with the audio at the moment. So it's a pretty impressive thing.
So Locked On people, if you're Locked On audience, if you're looking for a Georgia show, you know where to go. If you're looking for an SEC show, you know where to go. Come on over.
Todd, Alabama, hello.
I'm
here.
Tide Talk,
We're here.
that one.
Yeah. Our motto is no competition. I mean, Corey's Bleav. I'm Locked On. Heck, Jake is on y'all's conference network now.
Jake, I was gonna say Jake is first fully. He's the first full member. I'm kind of like Notre Dame. I'm like halfway in two conferences.
I don't know who it is. It just says Facebook user up there in the chat, but somebody is figuring out the SEC After Dark play on the Pac-12 After Dark thing.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be having a good time. I'm a favor of 9 p.m. Central kickoffs for the SEC.
That would be sick.
I'm absolutely in favor of that, of games ending at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yes, absolutely.
That would be great. And I'm excited for Pac-12 at brunch.
Yes, just flip it around. Some 11 a.m. kickoffs.
Yeah, do Pac like USC Arizona did a 9 a.m. local kick last year. Pac-12 at brunch. It was outstanding.
Pac-12 this morning.
Yeah. I remember
Good morning, Pac-12.
I remember a few years ago when I can't remember this. It might have been Notre Dame and Georgia Tech went over in London. They started like at 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I got up like at 5 o'clock, got my coffee ready. Dublin, yeah. And I got up, got my coffee ready, got my recliner, and I watched every single second of that game. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I loved it.
Yeah, and there was a game a couple of years ago that was in Australia.
Yeah.
And that game started at like 4 in the morning. And it was like, let's do it. And they're playing like on a cricket field. You have these vibes of CONCACAF playing down in Trinidad and Tobago or something like that. And
or just standard Australian rules football where it's like 22 on 22.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Insane, dude. Have you ever watched Australian football?
The rugby? Is that what it's called?
Not rugby. Australian rules football.
Oh,
Slightly different. It's different than rugby.
Okay.
Steve, I know you've watched it.
Yes, I have, because I was a kicker back in the day. Oh, I'll show y'all.
So
a little show and tell time.
So story time. Yeah, I've got a.
Oh wow!
They took photos back then.
Yeah, seriously, it's color and everything. It's pretty great.
Oh, wow.
Found out last week that they're doing away with my high school.
What?
They're doing away with my high school. I went to McGee High School in Mississippi.
Oh
and
man!
They're consolidating it. McGee and Mendenhall, which is the big rivals, the Simpson County Super Bowl. All 3 of our games that we played against you, just as perspectives, were played in Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, a 62,000 seater.
Wow!
I mean, it's a huge game, and that game is going away. Now, the flip side of that is football in Simpson County is about to be legit, but I just remember that game. I remember that for the longest time. I'm sure this doesn't hold now, but for the longest time, I was the only high school kicker that didn't miss in Mississippi Memorial Stadium. Because I think I played there 4 or 5 times in high school.
Nice. Look at him bragging, Corey.
Look at him bragging, yeah. Kicker.
Yeah.
These
a damn kicker.
With their damn egos, man.
Yeah.
Can't do anything with them, man.
Yeah. You hate us until you need us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Weirdos. No. Hey, kicker. No, I love kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Kickers' lives matter. So, funny story about Aussie rules football. During the pandemic, obviously, is like when I got hooked into Aussie Rules football because it was on like every morning at like 5, and Huck doesn't sleep, so I'd be up, I'd be watching it, man. I got into it, man. It's crazy, dude. It's like 22 on 22. There's like the rules. The rules. I still don't have a clue. But one of our guys at school, one of our faculty members, got on LinkedIn and got hooked up with the Aussie Rules football team, Brisbane, I think. And they sent like a bag of Aussie Rules footballs.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah, certified AFL footballs.
Huh.
They're just like miniature rugby balls. They're not miniature, but they're like smaller rugby balls, and they're like more round.
They're perfect for punting.
You can punt these things a mile. Which, I mean, that's the mode of transportation for the ball in Aussie Rules football. Like they punt it to each other. I mean, they throw it too sometimes, but like if you catch a punt, you get like a free kick. So it's pretty crazy. Steve, I don't know if you can share your screen, but you could play some highlights of some Aussie Rules football, man. It's crazy. Like games are like 70 to 65. Like it's
good night. That's high scoring.
They go and they're long too. And like the average Aussie Rules football player will cover like 5 miles.
Wow.
And the field is enormous. They play on these cricket pitches. It's ridiculous.
Because cricket matters there.
Yes, cricket's a big time deal. So that's my pandemic story. But so yeah, the NFL playoffs, nothing like Aussie Rules football, but 3 walk-off field goals and an overtime win. Those endings and the walk-off field goals were not just like standard. They drive down and get it. It was like 3 lead changes. There we go. Nice. There's like 3 lead changes in every game. The Rams got Brady'd, right? And then they turn around and go right back down the field.
Roll Tide.
He was virgin since he's 28.
Yeah, normally we have Jeb in here, but since we don't, we'll just put Aussie Rules football and just they can be our spirit animal over the course of this broadcast.
Yeah, I've got that football too. I got a red one. They're red and yellow. The balls are. So, what game did you guys like the most?
Kansas City Buffalo. Absolutely.
Okay, that's the outlier. Let's take that one out. Which one is the other game that you like? Oh, Facebook user speaking your language, Jake.
Yeah.
War damn eagle.
Anyway, let's move on.
Jake doesn't need a translator for that.
He does not.
He knows how to say Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah.
Question remains. My favorite was the Rams game.
Yeah.
That was the best one. I mean, it was the Rams jump out early. They had a chance to really, really blow them out. And Cam Akers fumbles, and here come the Bucs. Right? I think the Rams in the third quarter did everything possible to not win that game.
They did.
Whenever the USFL comes out and people inevitably talk about how horrible the football it is and how they only watch the NFL because these takes get recycled every time, that third quarter needs to be just sent to them because that was some of the worst football I have seen.
And Ryan Tannehill's highlights.
Yeah. Please. But talking about the Rams, I said it last night on our show or on Best of the West when we got on that tangent of the NFL playoffs, but
hard not to.
I know, but I don't have a veterans interest in any of these games anymore since the Titans are out, but I kind of want to pull for Matthew Stafford just for the fact that he got stuck on the lines for all them years
12 years.
Yeah. And now he's got a great team
12
around
years.
him. I'm hoping that, that they make it to the Super Bowl, and I hope he can pull it out. But
And Stafford was this close to being put out of the league with an injury.
Yeah.
And he recovered, and it was. I mean, obviously now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So,
but that game next week, I heard something after that game that the Rams are going to be playing the 49ers. The 49ers have a 6-game winning streak against the Rams.
Something's got to give, man.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
That elite quarterback, Jimmy G. Yeah.
Hey, all he does is win.
He's like DJ Khaled. But, Jimmy G and, like, these two teams, like, they just need to keep the scoreboard on the second quarter.
Yeah.
They don't need to change it because these two teams in the second half, I feel like every game they played, they've fallen apart and somehow found a way to win.
Yeah.
Like they completely fall apart and then all of a sudden find a way to win. Whether it's like, well, against the Cowboys, like they had to rely on the Cowboys to choke it away for them to get a win because Jimmy G threw 3 interceptions and again just played horribly down the stretch of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week they couldn't do anything offensively. Special teams won the game in the driving snow, blistering cold. Special teams won the game, and with blocked punt, blocked field goal, and a walk off. So it was like they find ways to win. I don't understand it. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And it's good. I love that. That organization is really good. I like John Lynch as a GM. He's super aggressive.
Yeah.
Obviously knowledgeable because he played the game. I'm a big Kyle Shanahan fan. I'm just ready for them to give Trey Lance a shot. And obviously that's going to be next year because, you're not going to pull Jimmy G right now. But
since we're talking about quarterbacks, I asked the question last night. Do y'all believe that Aaron Rodgers will be in a Packer uniform next year?
No.
I don't think he will either.
He's playing for the Saints.
I don't think he'll be in any uniform next year.
You think he's going to retire?
Mm-hmm. And also, by the way, what was y'all's favorite Aaron Rodgers nickname when Twitter was dunking on him over the weekend?
Oh, I don't remember any of them.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I did too.
I truly enjoyed Karen Rodgers.
Oh. That is a very good one. Give me some more.
Aaron Frogers.
Aaron Frogers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Throw Rogan.
Okay, all right. Karen Rodgers is still number one.
I led with the top one. That was a fantastic one. But they just spent a whole day just dunking on Aaron Rodgers after. Oh, they're saying that it's ironic that he lost the game because of snowflakes.
They ought to be used to it up there in Lambeau.
It was just really, really good. It was funny. Next year, Rodgers is going to be living in an underground bunker in North Dakota and doing anti-vax podcasts. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Him and Joe Rogan. He's going to be Joe Rogan's new co-host.
Yeah. Would you believe that 5 years ago, if somebody told you,
crack Joe Rogan,
in 5 years ago, if somebody told you that you would want to be Jordan Rodgers more than you'd want to be Aaron Rodgers, you wouldn't laugh at them like crazy. That Jordan was the normal one.
Jordan's sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm glad you cut me off from communication because you're crazy."
Yeah,
and I disassociated with you now.
Everybody thought it was Aaron's family. Maybe it was Aaron. That was crazy. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously was.
Yeah,
it is a
eventually. If you're a legitimately bad person, eventually it will come out, and that has come out in spades. I don't care that he's anti-vaxxing. I don't care what's going on. I do care that he lied about being vaccinated.
Yeah,
that is the point that turned me. I don't care that he's not vaccinated. Just own that you're not vaccinated. Don't lie that you were. Him and AB, those are pretty much the two people that came down with that. That was just a horrible thing, and just trying to skirt the rules and to be better than everybody else.
AB doubled down on it with a fake vax card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, with those cards and what was going on, AB probably is lucky not to be in jail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That lady in Hawaii got jail time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Also, AB went nuclear on his NFL career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's suing the Buccaneers right now for cutting him. Whenever he was doing jumping jacks off the field, saying goodbye, and then now is going to complain that he was too injured to play. But he was, I mean, come on.
He walked out on them, and pretty much his damn jock strap. But yet he's going to sue them for,
yeah.
You didn't have just cause. Hey, Johnson, roll the tape.
Yeah.
This is AB.
Yeah.
This is AB doing jumping jacks shirtless in the end zone in New York.
Mm-hmm.
This is AB in an Uber with some random dude.
Yeah.
This is him doing a podcast with that guy. It's just the most bizarre.
It is very bizarre.
And then they ask AB about the USFL, and he's like, "No, I'm too good for that." Well, you better not be, because you're done playing in the NFL, buddy.
Ain't nobody gonna have that cancer in the, on their team.
Yeah.
No.
And Colin Kaepernick, like you said, can't get a job.
Yeah, if he can't get a job, AB can't get a job either.
No.
No, definitely not.
Not happening.
Oh, before we move on to the portal and everything, let's talk about the USFL.
Yeah.
They finally announced that all the games are going to be played in Birmingham, like 90% of them in UAB Stadium, and then some over in Legion Field, hopefully in the daytime. But it looks pretty interesting. I got to see the Stallions helmet and the New Jersey Generals helmets, and it looked really good. Initial signs are promising for that league.
I mean, it was honestly, the ESPN 30 for 30 on Who Killed the USFL. If you haven't seen it, I recommend. That's must watch. But Donald Trump freaking killed the USFL.
Yeah,
it was booming. Like they were starting to pay guys. They were starting to be able to pay guys record salaries. Maybe they went a little too far with that, but it's just freaking ridiculous, man. Like there were some good legit guys were jumping to the USFL.
The Philadelphia Stars were legit. Sam Mills, that was a Jim Mora coach team.
Yeah. Playoffs? The Houston Gamblers, what was it, the LA Express?
Yeah, Steve Young's team.
Steve Young's team, and then Jim Kelly played for the Houston Gamblers.
Tampa Bay Bandits with the ball coach.
Yeah, Spurrier's head coaching debut, man. It was crazy. Like people were legitimately excited for it, and it was spring football, and legit. Like the leagues that have been trying to sprout up are just like marketed terribly. They weren't getting good players. They were getting retreads. The coaching was awful. The XFL it's just too out in left field. And then the Alliance or whatever, just nobody's going to get behind that name. The AAFL or whatever.
Yeah, it's something.
The AAF or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to get behind that crap. Yeah. USFL, it's got name recognition, obviously, but I don't know. Like I'm excited about it. I'm looking to see if the rosters have come out yet.
They haven't.
Okay.
Are they doing like a draft or something on the rosters?
Yeah, they're going to. Now, the thing that people need to realize, they're calling this the USFL, and they're treating it like a startup in the sense that Fox is treating it like a startup. But this is essentially the Spring League, which has been around for 2 or 3 years.
Yes, the Spring League, I've watched a few of those games. The uniforms kind of remind me of Any Given Sunday, but Hal Mummy coaches in that league, and there's actually some decent football.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
It's all about those inches.
Will it be even? Yeah. The 6 inches in front of your face.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the USFL as a lifelong Tampa Bay Bandits fan. Because remember, I'm of the age, the only person here on this podcast.
Todd Haley's the coach of the Bandits.
Yeah. I was 7, 8, and 9 when the USFL was being played the first time. So I was at that perfect age where it mattered. Also, by the way, the USFL is offering $10 tickets to entry level to get in, and kids under 15 get in free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin, Kirby Wilson, Skip Holtz is a head coach. I mean, there's some.
Skip's in Birmingham.
Yeah, Skip is the hometown coach.
Yeah.
Why? So I'm gonna ask why, and this is probably COVID related. So I probably answered my own question, but why are they playing every game in Birmingham? They travel budgets, things like that. Is that what it is?
Well, if they okay, this is the thing that popped up is if they didn't, they would probably have to wait until 2023 to launch because their stadiums they have to lock down in all these markets. If you just have one place, you can go ahead and introduce those 8, and the next year you can have their going home. Because I expect the New Jersey Generals to play at the Red Bull Stadium. Yeah. I expect Birmingham to play where they are. I expect Tampa to play at Raymond James. I expect Houston to play where the Roughnecks played last year at the University of Houston.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, probably at where the Steelers play. The Michigan Panthers, probably where the Lions play. Let's see, who am I missing up there? Oh, the Philadelphia Stars, I expect them to play where the Union play. Because this is first and foremost a TV product.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. No doubt. So yeah, I think that's a good explanation. I was hoping it was that and not just the lame COVID excuse. I mean, not that it's lame, but I feel like it's a little bit lazy.
Yeah, I think it's just to control expenses and know what you have. And so everybody's under one roof. You're doing it because USFL is a single entity, even their owners. And then owners are going to come in like the rumor is the first owner was leaked or the first member of an ownership group was leaked. And that was with the New Jersey Generals. And it's likely going to be A-Rod.
Interesting.
A-Rod, huh?
Can't get rid of the dude.
Yeah.
You should have shot A-Rod.
Yeah.
He's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Dang. So that's pretty crazy. I like it though. Steve, are you going to buy the Bandits?
I've already bought the Bandits.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah. I've got a Bandit shirt. I've done podcasts in my Bandits gear.
There you go. So what's going to happen when the Saints call you to be the head coach?
We're going to run the same system that Lane Kiffin runs in Oxford. B, we're going to get a defensive coordinator that I just turn loose and let him have at it. So maybe I'll just keep Dennis Allen. You know, he's doing a fine job. And C, I'd be making so much money that if anybody tried to call me, I would not answer the phone. I would have like 3 names programmed into my phone, and if he wasn't there, it was just silent.
There you go. Yeah. John, I don't remember the USFL. I was 2 years old. 1 year. I was 1 and 2 years old. So, yeah, I don't remember it. I just remember it from the documentary stuff. And Sumlin's in poor health. What changed? Dude needed a job, probably. That's what changed.
Yeah, Urban Meyer's been in poor health every time he's had to leave a job. So,
at Hillwood, we call it Dr. Game. Like everyone has all these injuries, and then Friday rolls around and they're magically healed. Dr. Game. He's undefeated. So, but yeah, USFL, love it, man. I'm excited. I want to see how the rosters shake out. I think you could have like. I mean, honestly, I think this could be an unofficial partnership with the NFL where the NFL just kind of evaluates and it almost turns into the minor league system for the NFL.
I would love that because some of the guys that's on a like a practice squad, that's not getting any playing time.
Like you can send all your people
Boom.
guys there and say,
Yeah.
go play in the USFL and see what you got. And then when then the bigger it becomes, then it's going to get to what it was in the mid '80s, where now you're competing for guys.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Well, what are y'all's teams?
Well, Birmingham for me.
I mean, proximity has got to be Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm going to have to treat it like I treat English soccer. I'm just going to have to watch it, figure out who I like the most. I can tell you with certainty, I'm not going to pick Mike Riley's team. Tell you with certainty.
Yeah, the
Probably
New Jersey Generals, I think they're going to automatically come in and be the most hated team to anybody that has any recollection of what happened.
Yeah.
And the fan favorite team is going to be the Tampa Bay Bandits for people that have recollection of what happened. Because Bandit Ball's back, baby. Bandit Ball is back.
There you go. There you freaking go. All right. So, Portal Mania. So, Jermaine Burton to Alabama. Congrats on that. I've also heard Caleb Williams is going to, drum roll, a lot of smoke in Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Oh.
He's going to be a Badger.
Interesting.
There's a chance. And like I said, I think Jackson Dart legitimately wants to stay in USC, and he's waiting on Caleb Williams to make his decision. I just think that's is the only thing that I think can cause the delay. But wouldn't it be funny if Lincoln Riley goes out to USC and has a bare quarterback room?
Yeah.
Because he
nobody.
completely screwed it up. That would be awesome. Because Caleb Williams is going to go to Wisconsin. There's a family friend that I think they've either hired or getting ready to hire as offensive coordinator that ran the same stuff that Russell Wilson did when he was there at Wisconsin. Like they're gonna open it up a little bit more, which is kind of odd to see, but they're gonna. There's some family connections there with Caleb Williams to Wisconsin, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, you're right about seeing Wisconsin open it up a little bit because I'm used to seeing them just ground and pound everybody.
32 personnel and just cram it down your throat. They had some dude named Jonathan Taylor. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more about Wisconsin, check out the Bleav In Badgers podcast with Matt Perkins and Matt the Hebrew Hammer Bernstein. So,
or we could just do Big Ten After Dark.
Or we could just take over.
Yeah.
Three SEC guys talking Big Ten.
Which in
How
the Big
legit is
Ten,
that?
Big Ten After Dark is like 3:30.
Well, I'm at work still, so y'all have to do that without me.
Big Ten After Dark, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. That was funny. That was good.
I'm pleased with that joke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That was good. That was good. That was very good. Yeah, I don't know how seriously people take 3 Southern accents talking about Michigan football. Hey, boy, did you see that Michigan game? Yeah, man.
The recruiting pitches happen at IHOP, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And tree forts outside the recruits' windows.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh. NIL deal with Dockers.
Any more smoke on him going to the Raiders? Is that still a possibility?
I haven't heard. The Raiders are really fighting for the interim guy.
Yeah.
The players are. Players love Biaka or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Biaccia. He was there. He's a former Ole Miss Rebel assistant. And the players always want the interim guy.
Yeah.
That's how Larry Coker ended up at Miami and eventually killed the U.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
Yeah.
Those are facts. Watch the U part 2 and you'll know how they really feel about Larry Coker now. They refer to him as the substitute teacher who had no control of the class.
Yep.
So, and Bill O'Brien is no longer a candidate at the Jaguars. They're getting ready to hire Byron Leftwich.
Interesting.
That's a good pick, but I'm just not a fan of that no risk it, no biscuit. I'm just not.
Yeah. It's good to a certain degree. I think Arians takes it a little too far, but I like the attitude behind it. I just think that like if he dialed it back a little bit, but I think he just takes it next level. So it kind of ruins it. But I do like the mentality of it. I mean, Sean Payton's just as aggressive. He just doesn't have a big slogan with it. Doesn't have a catchy saying.
Or wide receivers that can run it, but whatever.
Yeah, when y'all lost Michael Thomas, it's like your receiving room just went. Like y'all used to be the place for receivers, man. Y'all used to have Brandon Cooks. You used to have Marquise Colston, Devery Henderson, Michael Thomas for a minute.
Then you end up with like Traquan Smith as your number one, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Those are Falcons problems. Russell Gage is the Falcons' number one.
He's like,
I love Russell Gage. I think he's a great player, but he is not a number one. He's a number 3.
And my brother's back.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Is that
It's your
Jared?
bedtime.
Is that Jared or Gerard?
It's Jared.
Jared. Welcome, Jared.
Welcome, Jared.
And
Hey, Cassidy. I must have missed you coming down the pike there. How's it going?
She's had a rough week at work, so she's not in the best of moods, which is understandable. Everybody has them at work every once in a while.
Old work drama.
Mm-hmm.
Like third quarter of the Iron Bowl bad mood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Keely Ringo pick 6 bad mood. Ooh,
Georgia beating Alabama in basketball the other night. Bad mood.
That'd be a pretty bad mood.
How did that happen? What
did y'all not show up?
I appreciate it.
Was it like Little
Take
Giants?
it.
I don't know.
Take it.
It was.
Did Georgia run the annexation of Puerto Rico?
Must have. We must have razzle dazzled them.
Yeah.
What it was, they were able to
flying
get the
bee
icebox
and everything.
back.
Yeah, icebox and flying bee, and we had a knuckle puck in there somewhere. It was awesome. It was. Yeah. That was probably. I didn't watch it, but that was probably the worst basketball game of all time.
Yeah, for me, it was.
If we won, because we're pretty bad, Jake. This is like next level bad.
Yeah.
Like Georgia's always bad, but I don't think I've ever seen a Georgia team this bad.
Yeah.
Well, your whole team transferred away.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you got 5 new guys playing, and
was it Severe Wheeler is the starting point guard at Kentucky? I mean,
and KD Johnson is the starting point guard at Auburn. Two impact players on top 15 programs. One of them being on the number 1 program in the country at Auburn, which blows me away. But
shoot, Auburn's got Jabari Smith. That kid is amazing.
Like Georgia needs to hire, and I still don't know how we beat Alabama. I really can't tell you that. The only thing I can tell you for sure is that we scored 1 more point than they did. So at least. So
several more points.
I mean, I just don't understand if you're Georgia with what you got going on campus, right? You have baseballs in the top. Baseball is number 6, preseason 16, I think. Women's basketball is 15-3 right now. And they've probably won another one, so they're probably 16-3. Joni Taylor is killing it. She's coaching the U19 women's Olympic team, or the USA team. They obviously football just won a national championship, and they've been vying for national championships since Kirby got there. Like the atmosphere around football has been outstanding. The only year that was bad was his first year. You've got a great campus that's being completely flipped. Like there's new buildings going up all the time. I mean, just the buzz around Athens. How could you not go down there and get 3 guys from Atlanta, 5-star guys from Atlanta to come play? I mean, the arena had a facelift. There's only so much lipstick you can put on that pig, but they've tried. They got a great practice facility. I mean, the practice facility's top notch, but
I've got a theory of something y'all can do though.
I don't get it. Like we got it and I think it just comes down to our coaches that we've hired after Jim Herrick. Jim Herrick knew how to recruit, but he was like a cheater. he cheated like hell. But
now you can do it legally, though.
We can do it legally. So we just need to hire some young, like, what are we going to lose, right? We can't get much worse. We did it with baseball. We hired a mid-major guy that had success at Coastal Carolina. I'm not saying we go to Coastal Carolina for basketball, but same concept. We hired this.
Let's go Clears.
Yeah. We hired this guy from that has had success at Coastal Carolina. He's young. He's tapped into to the Southeast, knows his stuff with baseball, Scott Strickland. And it was rough for a couple of years, right? Didn't even qualify for the conference tournament. Then all of a sudden, here we are. Like, we were on the doorstep of the College World Series a year ago. We come in ranked 16th. Now he's kind of figured it out. We need to do the same thing in basketball. And I have no clue who that person is. But we need to go get a mid-major head coach. Somebody that has tournament experience. And I don't care if that tournament experience is getting in as the 16th seed and losing to Michigan State by 50. If they know how to recruit and they can recruit Atlanta, I don't give a crap, because you can get 3 guys and turn your thing around.
You know, I can't figure out why Georgia Tech can't get it right.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
It's a hard school to get into. Their admission standards are ridiculous, like too much. It's kind of like Notre Dame. But Purdue is an engineering school. They have no problems. Georgia Tech is just I don't know. It's an administration thing. But they have a nice arena.
Yeah.
I've got a theory on how Georgia can turn it around.
Hit it.
Y'all need to rename it to where it's no longer Stegman Coliseum, and it needs to be some word that you can, instead of calling it the Stegosaurus, it can be the Velociraptor. We have a game at the Velociraptor.
We have a game at the Raptor.
At the Raptor. And that right there alone.
We have to rebuild it because our building actually looks like a Stegosaurus.
Oh, wow.
Like, it fits. The nickname really fits, like almost too good. I mean, before they put the glass in, before they redid the outside, it really looked like a Stegosaurus. When I was there, it was amazing.
Hey, you want me to break a little news on the show?
Break it.
Just had a
Have
source
your journalism moment.
Yeah. Just had a source confirm to me that James Madison will be joining the Sun Belt this summer.
Oh, wow. The Fun Belt.
That's been rumored for a while. I love that move.
Yeah.
I love that.
Sun Belt has done a really good job of taking FCS programs and helping them transition. And they made a nice league for themselves.
They have.
Oh, it's a great league. I love it. I love the Fun Belt.
The Fun Belt.
I love the
Southern
Fun
Miss left Conference USA for it.
Yeah, they did. That's a good move.
Which, by the way, I don't want to make this Conference USA After Dark or Sun Belt After Dark or Southern Miss After Dark, but their
Buster Buzzards After Dark.
Yeah, Buster Buzzards After Dark. Their transfer strategy right now is freaking genius. They're going after the second team at both Ole Miss and State, and they've signed like 20 players.
Wow,
it's a great strategy. The guy came from Tulane, man. Like he's not a dummy. He's young too. I like him. Will Hall.
Yeah, his dad is a coaching legend in Mississippi high school football.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Bobby Hall's his dad.
Old Bobby Hall. I remember old Bobby Hall, man. I have no idea. So yeah. Also Louisville. There's some names being floated around.
I was going to mention this. You know,
Kenny
they just
Payne,
fired
Bruce Pearl, Will Wade, and Nate Oates. So Jake, how do you feel about that?
They're not. Nate Oates is not going to go. He's got a $10 million buyout. I don't see him leaving.
Well, he just lost to Georgia, so
yeah. I mean, they can probably scratch his name off the list. He'll get it right. I mean, Alabama get it right. They're
going to fire him. He just lost to Georgia. You don't.
No, he ain't going to get fired his second year, third year. But
he should. He lost to Georgia.
I think just because Louisville's in the ACC,
like losing to Vandy in football.
Just because Louisville's in the ACC, they act like they're high and mighty and everything's going on about basketball. But the reality is Auburn's a better job than Louisville right now. Alabama's a better job than Louisville right now.
The SEC, people are going to hate this, right? But the SEC is turning into just as good of a basketball conference as it is a football conference.
SEC Network.
Yeah, I mean, it's the money's been pumping in there. That's exactly right. I mean, they've been. It's crazy, like how fast. Like the SEC was always like Kentucky, Florida, and then like everybody else was, best
the
you could do.
10 dwarfs. Yeah,
best
much.
you could do is NIT.
Yeah, we used to call the Big 8 back in the day when it was Nebraska and Oklahoma the Big 2+6.
Yeah,
and so that's what SEC basketball was. It was really the Big 2+10.
The Big Two, the Big Two, and the 10 dwarves. I like that. I like that analogy actually. Now, I mean, you've got what 6 teams ranked, possibly 7 teams in the tournament, maybe. Something like that.
Not Ole Miss, crazy. Not Georgia, but yeah.
Georgia ain't going anywhere. Georgia is going to be a warm-up game for somebody. Vandy.
Vandy ain't gonna make it either, I don't think.
God. Yeah, it's crazy. But I think when you look at the way it's been, like these SEC schools, again, they've recruited some city named Atlanta. Go figure. There's some good basketball in Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, Florida's killing it in Atlanta. Auburn, obviously, is recruiting Atlanta well. Alabama's been recruiting Atlanta well. Tennessee's been recruiting Atlanta well.
Georgia hasn't.
Georgia, I don't know who they're recruiting. I'm not sure. They're recruiting Vermont really well, I guess. I have no idea where these kids. They pulled a bench guy from Gonzaga out of the transfer portal, so that was good, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
And since we're talking about this SEC basketball, I don't know what Missouri's problem is, but when they're at home, they are tough. I mean, they took Auburn to, the last second last night. I mean, Missouri at home is very, very tough.
Missouri's one of those teams. They're up and down.
I know.
They're just up and down. It just depends. Like they're a streaky team. Depends on the night. Depends on how they start. And to think Auburn's going to run roughshod through this conference is they're not. Obviously anybody can beat you. Georgia proved that last night. Anybody can beat you. So it's a great league. And the ACC is good, but Duke isn't what they used to be. Because Coach K's in his victory lap. North Carolina. I don't know much about North Carolina. I mean, Wake Forest, I think, is the class of that conference this year in both football now and basketball. So Louisville just fired their coach. Notre Dame is, I guess, okay. You don't. I mean, I don't probably follow basketball as much as y'all do, or most people do. But I still hear about the ACC. I still hear about these teams. Like the big game last night was the other night was I think it was over the weekend. It was Kansas and Oklahoma State or somebody. Like I hear about some of these big games. I hear about the big teams. I hear about things that are going on. I don't study it, but I hear some things. So I don't hear about the ACC anymore.
Yeah.
And I hear, and obviously I'm tapped in probably more than most with this conference, but again, I'm not really tapped into I'm not really tapped into basketball. So
that's understandable.
I know, right? When I hear about how good our teams are doing, and I say I mean as a conference, it's like, okay, I'm hearing about like we are what the ACC was a few years ago. And it's good. I think it's good for the conference. I think it'll eventually get me back into it. And it's going to force a lot of these teams that are sitting on their hands, like Georgia, Vanderbilt's going to have to do something. I think I'm trying to think of some other teams that are kind of just sitting there. I think Tennessee's going to have to think about some things. I think you look at Arkansas; they're going to have to figure something out. Florida's going to have to figure something out. I mean, you got some of these teams that are used to being complacent with, hey, we're just gonna go out there and give it a good old college try because it's basketball. We really don't care. And Georgia's already done it with women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They've already said enough's enough. They hired Joni Taylor, and they went Elite Eight last year. So,
yeah, you're right.
It's going to happen. Like Georgia men's basketball is the worst by far program on campus. It's the worst athletics program by a mile on our campus.
Okay, do you want me to break some more news?
Break it.
While you're at it.
Looks like it's going to be the Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders. All right.
Interesting.
And Derek Mason has taken a job at Oklahoma State.
I saw that.
That's weird because without him, Auburn would have won 3 games last year.
Is it though? He fits in. He fits in the league really well. I'll tell you that.
I mean, some people like Derek Mason, down here, and some of them didn't. So
I think he was just too all over the place with his calls. I think he was, the Iron Bowl was a microcosm of kind of what he was all season.
Well, it kind of turned when they gave up like 40-something points in the second half to Mississippi State. That's when they started turning on him a little bit.
Yeah, that's been symbolic of what kind of defense they've been all year.
Yeah.
They clamp you, they're aggressive. Early on, they're blitzing you, they're hitting you, and then they just go conservative.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, they start playing zone. They start rushing 3 and 4 and not getting any pressure on the court. Like it happened just about every game.
Yeah,
and I think that's ultimately why he's gone.
And I have said it a million times. I may have said it on here before, but prevent defense prevents you from winning. That's all prevent defense is good for.
Yeah, there is no tackle in front of you. It's just because kickers are too good now. The athletes are too good. You cannot play prevent defense anymore because the game is just too good for that. Because you can't afford to give up 20 yards. Unless the clock is really, really in your favor.
Unless you got 20 seconds left. Yeah.
Shit,
they went prevent defense against Alabama.
That.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That was 12 seconds. I think Chiefs scored.
Yeah, just squid the ball. Let the clock run at all.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Squid the ball.
It puts a little more pressure on him.
Absolutely.
Just toe punch it down there to the 15-yard line and make them pick it up.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely crazy. Also, by the way, with Bryce Young going through, if you don't blitz 5, send 5 on every single play, you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's what we discovered by the end of this year.
Defenses that had success against Alabama were ones that repeatedly hit Bryce Young.
Yeah. Georgia figured that out in the second game.
That's what it is.
In the championship game.
Yeah, I think that was Will Muschamp. I think Will just went into Kirby and said, "You want to blitz now? Let me know if you want to blitz."
No, he probably came in and said, "If you don't effing blitz, I'm going to rip your head off." He went all Full Metal Jacket on him.
Kirby's probably pissing in,
and he's probably the only one.
Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the only person that can talk like that to Kirby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was some sort of change made that there was probably some staff mutiny saying we played like absolute pussies. I can say that, right? Yeah.
Sure.
We'll edit it.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. Not after last week. We ain't editing shit.
Hey, can we make fun of Florida real quick?
Usually.
ahead.
In front of the Gators.
Mhm.
Have you guys seen these job titles that Billy Napier's handing out?
Game changer coordinator.
Game changer coordinator. Like you're just a assistant recruiting director. It's assistant AD of recruiting strategy. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up their staff directory here. They have the game changer one just killed me. Like why does he feel like he needs to do this Butch Jones stuff?
I guess change the change
What
the
is it
complexion.
like?
I don't know.
I mean, I get it. You want to be creative, but like, what is like?
I think that fan base was so broken by Mullen that there's trying to find stuff to get them excited about. And also in
But it's
2 years, and also in 2 years, whenever
great staff,
the
by
game changer coordinator wants to move on and become a special teams coordinator at another school, now that bullet is in your gun. You can offer that special teams coordinator, and this game changer coordinator, it doesn't really have the cashier, and you still have that special teams coordinator bullet in the gun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's silly. I'm not saying it's not silly.
It's just it's very Butch Jones to me.
Butch Jones with the trash can.
Like when I heard game changer coordinator, I immediately thought of the dude who was holding up the trash can. That's the first thought I had. Like
That
the
might be
director
his
of
job.
advanced scouting and stuff. Like he has a director of advanced scouting and self scout. That's actually a smart position to hold.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Director of research and evaluation. So he's going with the Patriots model here.
Yeah, at Ole Miss we call them analysts, but whatever.
Yeah. We call him analyst too.
Yeah, it's just call him an analyst. But I guess if he wants to, I guess he's trying to empower these guys. But it just seems silly. Like this guy, quality control. Why? Like he's got to be. I'm sure Corey Bell is pissed because he didn't get a cool title.
Right. Well, wasn't Joe Brady at LSU like a QB coordinator or offense coordinator? You know, they wasn't the actual coordinator.
No, he was quarterbacks coach. He was an analyst or something. He was something.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Steve Ensminger was the coordinator. You have Savannah Bailey. She's the senior director of player relations in Gator Made.
Gator Made. So she took Dan Mullen's wife spot?
I guess so. Then you have Jamar Chaney. He got a lame title. Defensive analyst. Inside linebackers, outside linebackers. I'm sure he's pissed.
Well, he's a former state guy, so he might have been there with Mullen.
Could be.
Yeah, probably. It's probably sticking it to him. Marcus Castro Walker, director of player engagement and NIL. That's going to be
that's what it was. Passing game coordinator. Thank you, John.
Game change director of athletic. So hold on. Let's see. Assistant,
so they're just doing it out in the open now, because NIL is not something that the school should have any part in putting together, even though they all do. But Florida's just like, okay, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah.
Director of football logistics. That's just the football. That's just football operations.
Yeah, it's like
director of college personnel. What does that mean?
What?
Player personnel director.
But they have another guy. That's the same thing. They just, I don't know. This is weird. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense. You have this guy, Kyle Casavicius, who's the Dwight Schrute assistant to the head coach. He's an assistant. He's assistant of quality control. So he's even further down. He's like under the totem pole. The totem pole is laying on top of him. Looks like.
What?
That's actually kind of a degrading title.
What is all this crap? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Director of on-campus recruiting and football events. My girl Kate, whatever her name is, I don't even see her on the list.
Is she the one that left Georgia go to Florida to be some kind of coordinator? Not coordinator, but like a recruiting.
Katie Turner, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. She's not even listed. she get fired already? Yeah, no, here it goes. Assistant AD of recruiting strategy.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck does that mean? Sorry.
Excuse your French, Corey.
Pardon my Portuguese here, but you're gonna have to click that. You're gonna have to click that explicit language box. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey Raymond. That was a great hire, by the way. No, all coaches have assistants. They're called GAs.
Yeah, graduate assistants.
They're called GAs, graduate assistants.
Mm-hmm.
They're not given some goofy title.
Well, now they're called graduate assistants and analysts.
Yeah.
Graduate assistants are just analysts that you don't have to pay as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have 3 tiers of analyst. Analyst, quality control. Like the analysts actually do most of the grunt work. Quality control makes all the copies, and GAs, I don't know what they do anymore.
That does look pretty.
I tell people all the time that the way this is being set up in college football right now is actually pretty genius. Because the on-field guys that you all think about as actual coaches, those guys are recruiters. Those are guys that are supposed to stand up in the living room and deliver it in. The X's and O's guys are analysts. And that's just the way it's being developed. Used to, you'd have to be both to get an on-field job.
And you had to balance your staff with, okay, this guy's better at recruiting, this guy's better at X and O's, and you had to balance your staff. Now it's like Kirby is loading his deck with with recruiters. Like he's about to hire Brian McClendon.
Yeah, and it just helps everything out because the way it's set up right now, the on-field coaches that we all think about it, that they make all that money is what they do in the living room, not on the practice field. The practice field are the guys that are getting paid less money that are analysts.
Yeah. It's good. Shadow staff. That's the League of Shadows. There you go. So yeah, that's it actually is really, really smart. So yeah, that's good, man. But we have reached I think we've kind of reached the end. We've been going for a little while here. We talked a little college basketball. We really just kind of talked about what Georgia can do to improve, but Auburn's Velociraptor. Auburn's obviously a powerhouse. Kentucky is just fine. They lost their backcourt in the game against Auburn over the weekend, so that it's hard to. In basketball, it's hard to overcome a run, and when you have a guy that sits for a little while and they go on like a 12-0 run, it makes it a little difficult.
That changed the whole game.
Yeah, it did, because they were going back and forth, and then Severe Wheeler, Ty Washington was out, and they were still hanging. They made adjustments, and then Severe Wheeler goes down for a minute, and then Auburn just gets hot. They just start hitting threes, and Kentucky, they were shell shocked for a minute. They went on, and then they obviously fought back and made it a game, but and Severe Wheeler ended up being okay, but they basketball, you lose a guy or two and suddenly and team goes on a run and that's it. But honestly, Ole Miss, what's going on with Ole Miss in basketball?
Oh, they're terrible.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Ruffin goes out.
They did beat Florida.
Yeah.
Morrell is pretty good. But they beat Florida because Florida just did a historic bad shooting night. They were like 2 for 26 from 3.
Is that bad?
That ain't good.
No. Alabama went 9 of 33 for 3 against Georgia.
I don't know what's worse, going 9 of 33 or the fact they jacked up 33 3-pointers.
That's out now. Yeah, I mean, that's what Nate Oates wants to do. He either wants to get an easy layup, which apparently we can't even make an easy layup. We can't make free throws.
Yeah, how can you not make an easy layup on Georgia like that? That's what we do.
I don't know. We've had
the
problems.
Slump buster.
But the free throw thing has been going on for a long time at Alabama. I mean, not with Anthony Grant and Ava Johnson, we was struggling at free throws, and it's the most easiest shot in the game of basketball to make. There's nobody guarding you
besides a layup.
Right. And we can't even do that right. So
yeah, Jordan hasn't figured that one out yet either. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I think when it's a game that runs. I think what it's going to take to make basketball really good again. I think you're going to have to. I think the sport just needs some more scores, not 3-point shooters, not slashers. I think they just need guys that can score from everywhere in the game, and I don't think there's enough of that.
Yeah,
because like what made and this is about to be a get off my lawn statement here, but what made basketball so good in the 80s and 90s was it was super physical, right?
Oh yeah,
fouling. It was actually fouling. Like, they would hammer each other. You played the ball into the post. People didn't really want to shoot threes. I mean, you had those guys, but really the goal was to take it to the rack and then get to the free throw line.
Hey, the Russian bots are here.
They are here.
Shouldn't y'all be trying to invade Ukraine?
Greetings.
Yeah. That's not funny, but yeah, they're right on the edge of doing that. But I mean, yeah, the 3-point game is part of basketball now, and I mean, when you have guys like Steph Curry who can just make it from anywhere on the freaking court behind the 3-point line,
I mean that's a valuable thing. Don't
is.
get me wrong, but
you can get back in the game pretty quick if you drop 3 or 4 in a row.
But like, what made the Heat so good is they had Dwayne Wade and LeBron James that were scorers, and they had Ray Allen who was a shooter.
Yep, and you had Bosh inside.
And you had Bosh inside do it, and then you had Udonis Haslem doing like the Dennis Rodman role.
Yeah, getting 30 rebounds a game.
Exactly. Like what made the Warriors so good, like when they broke the Bulls record, they had their shooters in Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. They had their scorer with Kevin Durant, and they had their grimy guy with Draymond Green, and they had a rotation of role players that filled that fifth spot and just did their job. That's great basketball to me. You have a variety of scoring, and you have that grimy, just grinder guy, just gonna just piss everybody off and just be super physical. Like they had that with Draymond Green. He didn't care.
Yeah. He plays like a 90s guy now.
Yeah.
With that physicality.
And the Hawks have that to some degree now. They have John Collins, who's the dunker. They have Trae Young, who's kind of the all-around guy. He's more of a scorer than he is a shooter. They had a good post role player with Cam Reddish, but they traded him. They had the European guy that was the shooter. Baragovic, I can't pronounce his name, but he came in and just killed the Sixers in that playoff series. But I think, if you look at the sport of basketball, that's what you need. You need teams that can take it to the rack. And I want to see the return of the big man. Return to the 5 spot. All right, so that's going to do it for us tonight. We've been going on for about an hour 15 now. You're probably getting bored. The Russian bots, if you have any vodka,
over.
yes.
They've invaded the chat.
Yeah, the chat has been taken over. With that being said, congrats on getting Jermaine. Congrats on Jahmyr Gibbs. Congrats on Eli Ricks. You guys continue to kill it. Your sign's crooked there in the background.
I think it's my camera.
And,
there we go.
Whatever it is.
No, I'm crooked.
Now you're crooked.
Yeah.
It's like you're sitting on a table, like a slanted table, like you're trying not to fall over. So yeah. So it's this episode's been a lot of fun. We've kind of just gone all over the place, and it's the off season. I mean, this
always is
right. That's what we do. But before we go, who's in the Super Bowl?
Rams and Chiefs.
I'm hoping for the 49ers and the Bengals.
Hoping for. Now, what do you think is going to happen?
Rams and the Chiefs.
Rams, Chiefs.
And I think the
it's
Chiefs,
gonna be
unfortunately, going to
49ers
win.
Chiefs. I hope it's Rams Bengals, but I think it's going to be 49ers Chiefs. But
Yeah.
so that's going to do it for us. We are the SEC After Dark podcast. You can find us on the Beast of the East channel on Bleav. You can find us right here on the Y'all's Conference Network. The love is being spread all over the place. And we are presented by Bet Online.
Rating.
I know. We're already there, so we're spread like those Benjamins in the Bet Online graphic there. So how about that? Is that better?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked Skinamax last weekend, so I don't know. I mean, got to stick with a theme, right? I got to toe the company line, apparently.
There you go.
But we are SEC After Dark. We are on the Y'all's Conference Network. You can find us just about anywhere. We'll be back at you next Wednesday for another edition. We'll talk probably more. We'll talk signing day. We'll talk a little more basketball, and then probably react to these NFL playoff games this weekend and get you ready for the Super Bowl. Prime you for signing day, and then we're gonna plug straight ahead, man. So for Stephen Willis and Jake Thomas, I'm Corey Burton. Jeb, get well soon. We thank you, and good night.
Roll Tide.
Go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Gosh almighty.